Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Eddie Lambert. Fellow Laborites, fellow Laborites, a special good evening to you and to the many Dominicans who are listening, especially to those who are still sitting on the fences wondering where they should vote on December 8th. But tonight, we come to the Roseau Valley to launch our plan for the next 5 years. One thing is certain about this plan is that once it is led by Roosevelt Skerrit, you know these plans will be fulfilled. Brothers and sisters, sometimes when I listen to the other side, and even looking at them going through their campaign, sometimes I just feel like laughing. But if it wasn't such a serious and important decision to be made, I would really be laughing. But tonight, I cannot laugh because December 8th is a very serious matter. The decisions that Dominicans are called to make on December 8th is a very, very, very serious one. And this is why tonight I beg your indulgence. I beg of you to listen to me for a few minutes, because tonight I want to talk about one thing, and that is Dominica's foreign policy. I know tonight there are many of them who perhaps wish I was somewhere in New York taking some fouedi veillée in the UN building. But tonight I am here to join the brothers and sisters of Labour and Prime Minister Skerrit to ensure that Labour continues to be the one to determine Dominica's foreign policy. And this is why tonight I am here with you. For the past 14 years, we have heard the other side criticize Prime Minister Skerrit and the Dominica Labour Party for using our tool of foreign relations to develop our country. We have heard them refer to Prime Minister Skerrit as a beggar. We have heard them say all manner of evil about him for a simple reason, that he, unlike them, when they were in office from 1995 to 2000, has been able to use Dominica foreign policy as a tool for developing Dominica. And today, the evidence are all around us. But I ask you, when you think of beautiful Dominica, we all agree that it is also a very difficult place to develop. It is more expensive to build 1 kilometer of road in Dominica than any other island in the Caribbean. It is more expensive to maintain 1 mile of road in Dominica than anywhere else in the Caribbean. When we remember where we were in 2000, we realized that Dominica on its own cannot provide for all the people of Dominica. And this is why we have resorted to making friends throughout the world to help us to develop Dominica. So those who sit down and criticize our foreign policy, they simply don't get it. But brothers and sisters, this foreign policy, I want to tell you tonight, I want to give you a little facts. In 1978, when Dominica became independent, we started establishing foreign relations with countries. By 1995, Dominica had established relations with 31 countries throughout the world. By 2000, when the United Workers' Party left government, guess how many they had increased it to? In 5 years. They had only increased it by 5. That is to say that the UWP only made 5 friends in 5 years in office. They missed out on a great opportunity to use foreign policy to develop Dominica. They didn't go out there to find any new friends for Dominica. But I want to tell you that by 2014, up to today, under the leadership of Roosevelt Skerrit, the Dominica Labour Party has brought that number to 96 countries. We have made about 60 new friends since taking the reins of office in Dominica. But it did not end there. These were not merely signing documents recognizing other countries. We were able to develop relationships that help to transform Dominica. And today, the evidence are all around us. When we look at the West Coast Road, we can see the results of the hard work of the Prime Minister and the Dominica Labour Party. The gift from the People's Republic of China extend from social to economic development of our people. And this is why December 8th is a very serious matter. December 8th is not simply about going to the ballot, but going to the polling station, to vote a candidate of your choice. It is more than that. It is taking a decision to determine the future of Dominica. It is taking a decision to determine who are the friends of Dominica. During the 5 years of the UWP and up to today, they continue to tell us that this is what they will do. They only had one friend, and that was Taiwan. But you know what the province of Taiwan used to do to the Prime Minister, Edison James, during the 5 years? They would write a whole paragraph for him to go to the United Nations to say. They would instruct him on exactly what words he should share with the world. And in return, they would take care of the ministers of the United Workers' Party. They would go around with pineapples and sweet corn throughout Dominica. That was their foreign policy. Today, they talk about recognizing a rebel group, a rebel government in exile called the Polisarios. And I want to tell you a little thing about that. The Polisarios is a small group that continue to fight the government of Morocco. And any party, any country that recognizes the Polisarios, they are not friends of the government and people of Morocco. But do you understand what that means for us in Dominica? It means that the hotel, the Cabrit Spa and Resort that is being built with funds from the government of Morocco, we don't know what would happen to that 13 million US investment. It could well be that the government of Morocco could ask us to repay them. That is what the United Workers' Party is seeking to do for Dominica. So the only friends that they have is to continue with the province of Taiwan and the Polisarios. Now, the Polisarios, as I said, they are a group of people who are fighting the government. We know what ISIS is doing to the governments in Syria and Iraq. That's the friends of the United Workers' Party. That is the friend that they can talk about to be able to create 5,000 jobs in 3 years. But tonight, when we come to you, we know where we are going to get the financing for all the promises that we have made in our manifesto. We know because we have a leader who has exemplified himself in the OECS, in CARICOM, in ALBA, in the OAS, and throughout the world. And sometimes, I know Prime Minister is a modest man. He's not a boastful man. This is a humble man. He's not a boastful man. But I know that Prime Minister Skerrit from time to time has been called by governments throughout the world to advise them on very serious issues. The King of Morocco is a personal friend of Roosevelt Skerrit. And I know that he has invited him on several occasions to advise him on how they should pursue their foreign policy throughout the Caribbean and the Americas. So I ask you this. On December 8th, when we go to cast our votes, the question is, are you going to leave a prime minister, a leader, who has brought Dominican name to the highest level throughout the world, who has used the tool of foreign relations to develop Dominica? Are you going to choose a man who has no experience in government, a party that has no friends anywhere in the world except for a group of rebels? That is the decision that we will be making. So all those tonight who are listening but are still having doubts, that are saying, bon Dieu, I myself, I don't vote in Labour again, because so long I send the paper and my pal rep didn't bring the thing to the minister and I not getting the thing. But I ask you this, if you don't vote for Labour and by some accident the UWP and Lennox Linton get in office, not only because they will punish you for keeping them out of office for the past 15 years, but because they have no ways of getting any money to do anything for anyone in Dominica. And I know I have some friends who say, you know, Labour Party has done a lot for Dominica, but I'm still not sure. I ask you this, are you going to trust Dominica's foreign relations in the hands of a man who has demonstrated that he does not have what it takes? Are you going to trust Lennox Linton? Are you going to trust the Workers' Party? Brothers and sisters, I can tell you about all of the things that we have been able to do through the One China policy. I can tell you what we've been able to do with the help of our friends from the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. I can tell you of all the things we have accomplished with support from the government, the Kingdom of Morocco, our friends in the Republic of Cuba. The list goes on and on. But at the end of the day, we have to ensure that we take the decisions in the interest of Dominica and Dominicans. Whatever we do on December 8th will be our children's future. And therefore, we must take this decision very seriously. Because when we listen to what is being offered, when we listen up to the criticisms, we realize that the opposition, the other side, is bankrupt of ideas, bankrupt of friends, and does not have a clear plans for Dominica's development. But before I go, there is one more thing that I want to mention to you. Because sometimes Prime Minister Scarry does some major things that because he does it so well, we think it's so easy. When last did Dominica, or has Dominica, ever had a Dominican at any major regional or international organization? Have we ever had a Secretary General of CARICOM before? Have we ever had a Director General of the Pan-American Health Organization before? Today, we can boast of Dominicans heading these very, very important organizations. But they did not just get there. They were able to get elected because Prime Minister Scarry has influence, he has friends, and he was able to get them elected. Do you believe that Lennox Linton would be able to do that for Dominican? So brothers and sisters, as we celebrate our victory, let's not forget. Let's not forget that December 8th is a very important decision to be made. And in spite of what you may be angry about, set it aside. Let it go. because we have to win these elections so that we can get back to the job, to deliver to the people of Dominica, to improve their lives, to improve the lives of our children, and to ensure that we can continue to work hard for a better Dominica. Brothers and sisters, your future is safe with Labour. Let's continue to support Labour. Let us ensure that we turn out to vote. Let us bring our neighbors to vote so that on the night of December 8th, we will again be celebrating another Labour Party victory for the people of Dominica. Thank you very much.